welcome to Spare Parts Cruising the Coast.
Here we are.
Cruising the Coast is over. Cars are still in the driveway.
So, Patrick and I cruised the coast, and it was a great event, and we'll show you more about that. However, the cars did not make it this year. Yeah. So, but it was probably a good thing because we learned a little about how the event works and how you sign up and where you go, what you do. So next year, we'll be in a much better position to take the Regals on the road.
And what have we learned from this adventure? What have you learned?
If you bite it off, make sure you can chew it up. Otherwise, you'll just be standing around with a mouthful of stuff that you're trying to choke down. So understand your limitations and work within them.
What I have learned is don't put a time constraint on your hobby because then it just becomes stressful and no fun. We work on cars in order to have a good time. So I'm going to continue to work on cars and have a good time. It gets done when it gets done. It runs when it runs. So I'm not going to worry about such things anymore. It will cruise a coast eventually.
It might be a smaller coast than the Mississippi Gulf Coast, but we're cruising, okay? So, and Patrick's right. Don't put a time limit on your hobby. It gets done when it gets done. Work on it when you can. Have fun while you're doing it. So, we're still having fun, still smiling. See, we're both still smiling. So, no fights in the garage. Nobody has thrown a wrench at one another in this entire process.
Nor have we broken anything out of frustration.
Nope, no, not yet.
So pretty good. We're about to pull in the Dark Knight. It hasn't run, of course, in about a month and a half, so it's going to be coughing and sputtering a little bit, but we will get it up in the garage. We are going to install an O2 sensor, a wideband O2, and then we are going to run up to my buddy Jeff's so that we can do some wide open throttle tuning. We're also going to check all of the fluids. We suspect that the automatic transmission fluid is a bit low, so we're going to do that. And Mike is going to pull the pan off of the rear differential and drain all of that fluid and check everything under there and make sure things are good, and then we'll see where it takes us.
Wait to see what that looks like.
All right, follow along. We'll show you some of the dirty stuff.
Not a 13. It's not a 15, and it's not a 13. Could it be a 14, or maybe it's inches instead of metric? Who's to know? We'll find out in a minute. Whoa. Hello.
There you go.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
There you go. It doesn't look too bad, actually.
I'm just going to kind of hold it. It's still kind of tacked up at the top. I'm just going to let this stuff drain. Well, that looks like maple syrup.
It looks pretty clean.
Relatively speaking, yeah.
I can see through it as it's draining. So let's see if we have any.
Doesn't look like it's burnt up, that's for sure.
Doesn't smell bad either.
Alright, here we go.
Look at that little bitty ring gear. 7.5. Yeah, it just smells like gear oil. It really doesn't smell bad.
Yeah.
Has that got a gasket on it, or is that just all ATV?
It looks like that was done by hand. That does not look like a foam gasket. Which is definitely a step towards goodness. But gaskets are pretty cheap, so looking to see if it might be stuck on the other side, but it's not. We're just gonna try to scrape it off of there.
Yeah, no problem. I got a razor blade.
That's actually looking not too bad.
No, doesn't look bad at all.
Somehow I got lucky.
Well, I can't
and we'll check the fluid, make sure we don't have any metal floating around, but I don't see anything in the gears that looks weird. So
I think we're okay for now.
look at that. That looks high tech. That looks like it's almost a race car or something.
It'll definitely give a little reinforcement on their rear end. Not that I plan on drag racing or really hitting it very hard, but hey, it was free. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, no lie.
Just laying around the garage, so we thought we'd put it in.
Well,
Put it to good use.
and with the cam that you've got in that motor, and yeah, that little rear end is going to need all the help that it can get.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
We also wired in an O2, wideband O2 sensor, so that we can do some wide open throttle tuning. So we just wired it in on a temporary basis because it's going to be permanently mounted in my car, but we're just using it for tuning purposes right now. And we're about to take it off its jack stands. We're going to fool the man by grabbing the tag off of mine. I don't think they'll know the difference between an 82 and an 87.
Fight the power.
And go get some gas in it.
We're actually driving it.
We're actually going to drive
A
it.
year later, almost a year to the day.
Yeah. I mean, we're just shy of a year. It was Halloween last year when we pulled it over here, wasn't it?
It was just after that, but I picked it up late October. So right around Halloween, it's been almost a year to the day. And it is now running with an LS swap, and I'd say that's time well spent.
And it wasn't ready for a trip down the Gulf Coast, but it was pretty damn close to running. So we're going to check and see its reliability. The brake seems to work pretty good. We'll see what happens. So we'll take some video on that trip. Compare to that for sure.